Hey, how about you, everybody? Hey, welcome into the Auburn Live Recruiting Show. I'm your host, Jeffrey Lee, Senior Recruiting Editor for Auburn Live on 3. Today is Wednesday, June the 19th, 2024 for you. It's Tuesday evening, June 18th, 2024 for us. Keep that in mind moving forward for any today's, tomorrow's, or yesterday's. We'll try to keep it simple, but you know how we are. We're not very simple. We're pretty complicated. Fantastic show for you today. We're going to talk about all the recruiting's going on. Auburn's big weekend this past weekend to basically close out before the dead period begins Monday. Several visitors. I think there were 12. None more important than Mr. Eric Winters, although a case could be made for Juju Lewis. But Eric Winters comes in. He shortly after arriving, he's got a commitment in. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about questions. We're going to get to questions from the corner. We'll do a little bit of how about yous, and here to do it all with me 100% of the time when they're here, they always do. Mr. Cole Pinkston, Mr. A-Head. How about you, fellas?
How about you?
How about you, fellas?
I am like we're post summer OVs now. I'm like, man, well, we still have a lot to talk about. Usually around this time, you're like, okay, let's take a break. But no, it's not slowing down.
It's commitment season, Cole. We have gone from
begun.
Yes, we have gone from visit season into commitment season, and couldn't have done it with a bigger splash than getting it started with Eric Winters, right?
Absolutely. I want to go more in depth on Eric Winters, but a big reason Eric Winters committed was this right here, folks. It's NIL. It's On to Victory. It's Auburn's main collective, and you can be a part of it. You can make a real difference in recruiting. I promise you. It makes a big difference. Want to make a real difference for your student athletes? Join the On 3 to Victory Collective. For as little as $17 a month, you can support Auburn athletics. You can enjoy awesome perks, man. They got some really cool stuff. You just don't throw your money in there. You get stuff in return. You get monthly giveaways. You get VIP events, behind-the-scenes content, which is really, really cool, and cash back on your favorite brands. They throw some coupons at you. Plus, you'll get exclusive savings on OTV gear, which is really sweet. They got some really cool gear. Head on over to ontovictory.co. That's ontovictory.co, not .com, it's .co. And join today to support your athletes and get in on those amazing benefits that I just said. I'm telling you, folks, if you can, this makes a huge difference. And here's why. Eric Winters committed Friday morning. I guess, well, he didn't announce until Saturday. But I did a lot of digging on Eric. Followed him very closely behind the scenes for the last month. And, you know, I think Cole, maybe even Alan, you all said this, but he was kind of this year's Joe Phillips.
Yep.
And that's exactly how it worked out. 3 weeks ago, Eric Winters on a Sunday night was committing to Georgia on Tuesday. Him and his mom had a discussion. They were going to commit to Georgia on Tuesday. Sunday night, that decision was made. He was going to announce 2 days later. Well, Monday comes around and something happened. Now, I don't know the details of what happened, but I know that something changed. His thoughts on Georgia. And here's the thing about Georgia and NIL. Georgia was straight up with Eric. We're not gonna match what other schools are gonna throw at you. We're offering you this, and in return, we're gonna set you up for this. The development was a big sell from Georgia. And Eric was all in on that. He was good with that. So NIL, but Auburn came in with a bigger offer, because Georgia said they weren't going to match it. But I also think Charles Kelly and his resume with development and these guys, I think Auburn's scheme under DJ Durkin with a kid like Eric Winters, I don't know that Georgia's defensive scheme kind of had this. Auburn's defense kind of, the way I understood it, had a perfect fit for him. Georgia was going to try to force him into a safety or force him into a linebacker, or they were going to try to figure it out how to fit him in. But anyways, so 3 weeks, and then he went to Georgia. Went to Georgia the weekend before Auburn on an official visit. Left there and was like, I got all my questions answered. They answered them, but I just don't know if the answers were what he wanted to hear.
Right.
And so from then on, last week leading up to his official visit, he had locked in with Auburn, and I think he had been on campus maybe 2 or 3 hours Friday when he was like, let's go. Huge.
Y'all,
Alan? Go ahead, big dog. Talk to us about Eric Winters.
Sorry to jump in there. Y'all may not remember. It was 3 or 4 shows ago. It was a recruiting show. We were comparing Eric Winters' recruitment to Joe Phillips, and I think Georgia had a lot of momentum when we were talking about this. But I brought up that I thought the turning point for Joe Phillips was at the 707 camp. And going back to talking to Eric that day and watching him and seeing him interact with coaches, I think that was the turning point for him too. I think that was when he maybe decided in his mind that Charles Kelly was going to be awesome for him. If you notice, you can go back and look at Hayes Fawcett's edit, graphic, whatever you want to call it, for his commitment. He puts Charles Kelly in there.
Mm-hmm.
So that confirmed something for me because he made the point. Charles Kelly has put people in the league that look like me.
That's exactly right.
Derwin James.
That's right.
Who's the other guy? Jalen Ramsey, I think.
I think Derwin James was that the he also mentioned Durkin too, right?
He did, and Durkin and with Jabril Peppers, and that's kind of where I was going with it.
Go.
And to me, that's a perfect comparison because Jabril is a guy that was a 3-level defender, just the way Eric Winters is. He could play on the back end, he could play that nickel, he could play the support star, he could play wheel linebacker, he could do it all. And obviously a special teams hero from day one. And I think Eric will 100% touch the field on all your kick and punt coverage teams from day one. He's just that kind of athlete. You're talking about a kid that excels at 7A football in the back end and also at quarterback and wide receiver. So there's not a lot that he can't do with the football. Unique set of ball skills for a kid his size, his speed. I think, Cole, you said that he timed 4.4, 4.5 at the at one of the camps that you were in attendance to, and that was laser timed, not hand timed. So it's a situation, man, where you just found a jumbo athlete that has the ability to do a lot of different things for you. You're not going to put him into a box. You're going to basically let him come here, and you're going to fit the defense around him and let him be one of those versatile pieces that you accentuate, especially in today's space game where you play so many different spread offenses. And you take a guy and you just plug him into different places, and he's smart enough from week to week that football IQ is where it needs to be. That you can do a lot of different things with him, specifically if you play some match 3 and put him down in the box and let him overload and cover a tight end. I think he's going to be a hell of a mismatch in that kind of a situation. So, again, massive pickup, not just because of what he can do on the field, but perception, right, guys? We talk about it all the time. Top 10 in the state of Alabama, Coffee County. You cannot let that kind of a kid go to Athens, Georgia. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. And line up against you for the next 3 to 4 years and be in the NFL when it's your home state. And if you're Hugh Freeze, you just got to continue to win battles like this. And eventually they're not contemplating Georgia, right? It's an automatic slam dunk to Auburn, just like we think sometimes it's an automatic slam dunk for kids in Georgia to go to Georgia. If Hugh Freeze continues to recruit at this level, it's going to be that way for kids in Alabama moving forward.
I wanted to point out with Eric too, he's from having to interview him, from getting to interview him several times. It wasn't always the most pleasant thing because he is a critical thinker, which means he ain't trying to give you anything. And I respect it. It's totally fine, but it was hard to get answers from him. And maybe he didn't have the answers yet. Maybe that was something he figured out at the end. He wasn't a one-word guy. He'd give you a sentence. He'd give you a quote, but it was like, okay, I didn't learn anything from that. And it was strategic. I think in the past, Auburn has leaned on the family thing with guys. Yep. And they should, because it's a big deal for a lot of guys. But not everybody. Yes, Eric Winters felt like home at Auburn. He's mentioned that several times. But he was willing to go to Georgia even though it felt like home at Auburn. So what did they have to do to separate themselves? And I think this is something that this staff has done well, where they go, all right, your heart's with us. How do we get your brain with us? Got to get your brain with us too. And they got him. They got his brain to follow his heart as well, where his brain was going, where do I fit the best? He eventually said Auburn was the best fit too. Not just home feeling, but best fit. I think it's just a complete job that the staff's done on that stuff.
I couldn't agree with you more. And Jeffrey, you said both names earlier, Charles Kelly, DJ Durkin. I think these guys were huge in this because they can sell NFL development, right?
Yes.
That was the pitch that Georgia was able to make. Well, these are guys, 2 guys that weren't on staff last year. If it's still Ron Roberts, I don't know I don't know that Eric's here right now. And this is not a slight at Ron Roberts, who I think is a fantastic in-game play caller, right? But he doesn't have the developmental history that DJ Durkin and Charles Kelly do. And so to bring them on staff with their contacts, their ability to recruit, they've shown the development game enough that you can counteract what Georgia is able to sell on their side. And so it was just a perfect storm to come together for Auburn. But again, I don't know that he's here if those two guys are not on staff right now.
Well, I don't think he's here without Charles Kelly. And again, no slight to Zach Etheridge. He's a fantastic recruiter. He's got guys in the league. But Charles Kelly, and I don't know if y'all remember this, but about a month ago, Auburn's official website, of the official X account, started flexing,
Yep.
as the kids would say, on Charles Kelly. Here's who he's got in there: 40-something kids, 42 NFL guys, this and that, and that was that. They should have wrote "Dear Eric" on the front.
and Quan Fegan's while you're at it. You know?
Yeah, right.
Absolutely.
Right. Yeah.
Charles Kelly, you know what? And I was telling my dad about this. I've always covered recruitments and seen Auburn lose to this guy. And now I know why.
Yep.
He's good.
He's good.
He's really good. He's good.
He knows how to appeal to a wide range of people, right?
Right. He's good. He's good.
And got the resume to back it up.
Yep. All right. Before we get to questions from the corner, Emos called in Sunday night on the call-in show and had a question we postponed, and he wanted to know how many of the top 15 that are presently ranked in the top 15 on the On3 industry rankings in the state of Alabama do we each think Auburn ends up signing. We've had a homework assignment from Mr. Emos, and we've given him one. We expect some cabbage at some point in time. Okay. Let's start off with the top 5. Let's start off with the top 5. All right, we can work down, Zach. That'll be good. Let's do that. Let's start off with the bottom 5.
I like that.
Okay, here we go. You got Carday Smith, who's committed to Auburn. Jordan Crawford committed to Auburn. Alvin Henderson's committed to Penn State. Antonio Coleman is now with Alabama. And Anthony Rogers is with Alabama. All right, how many of those guys do you think signs with Auburn?
Okay.
We just going. Are we trying not to think too hard about this and just say a number? Or are we going to really analyze?
I've got
this?
4.
All right,
out of that
4.
group, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I'll go 4. Because I think they're going to get one from Saraland this year.
If I analyze it too much, I would say 3, but just gut feeling, I'm going.
I hear you. Yeah. Antonio Coleman, Alvin Henderson, Jordan Crawford, Carday Smith. As of today, I think I've got him on my. Well, I haven't boosted up Antonio because he's going to be he's a long game guy right now. There's no rush to get him up there, but I do think by December comes around that he will be at 55 at least right now. So I think he signs with Auburn. I think Alvin signs with Auburn at least right now, and I think Jordan and Carday both stick with Auburn.
I like that, so I'll go with 4 as well.
All right, 4 for Cole. You said 4.
Yeah, let's go with 4.
We got 4. We all agree on that. We'll go. Let's see here. Anthony Rogers, I think he sticks. Emos also said, hold on, Zach, I missed that shit. I got it on.
Let's go with each one at a time, and we'll say it will each say either out of state,
that's
Alabama,
right.
or Auburn. Okay, so let's go back to 15. Carday Smith.
I heard you, Emos. I just didn't listen to you, big dog. Jessica knows all about it. Okay, you're right. 1-1. Auburn, Alabama, or out of state?
Carday Smith, Auburn.
Yeah, Auburn.
Concur.
Jordan Crawford.
Auburn.
Auburn. Alvin Henderson.
Auburn as of today.
For now, Auburn.
Auburn as of today, Cole. I like that answer. Antonio Coleman.
That's the one I'm contemplating, but I mean, gut feeling, I'll go Auburn.
Yeah.
Auburn.
I do.
I like that one. All right. Anthony Rogers.
He'll stay with Bama. I assume. I'm not really following his recruitment too much. I don't know who else is in the mix, but I assume
I'm going out of state on that one.
Okay. You think Alabama drops him at some point?
Yeah.
Okay. I wouldn't argue there. But for now, Alabama. Because I'm like Cole, I don't know who else is there. He might end up at Mississippi State somewhere, something like that. I don't think he's a tier 1 guy for Auburn.
He can fly. I'll give you that.
Oh, he can absolutely fly, but
he might be a second tier guy for the small back spot.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
I think you're right about that.
Okay, number 10, Micah DeBose.
Out of state.
I think out of state, LSU maybe, but Alabama might get him. I mean, I don't think it's Auburn. I'll put it that way.
Dude, Alabama's raking in 5-star offensive tackles.
Yeah, they got a good one today. But they've been
Tuesday.
recruiting Micah DeVos.
Oh, have they?
Yeah.
They like him on the interior, yeah.
Well, how about not Auburn for me?
It's not Auburn, yeah.
I'm going to go out of state. I'm going to go LSU. I think that's where he's going to end up, even though I'm with you, Cole, that Alabama has definitely recruited him hard down the stretch here.
Okay.
Let's see who's next. KJ Lacey. That's an interesting one, guys. What are you thinking?
Out of state.
Since we're going gut feeling, I'm going Auburn. Again, if I analyze it too much, I'm not.
Cole, I agree, man. I've always thought the kid was going to end up at Auburn. I just have. I will get into this later. All my intel is they're all in on Juju, right? Like there's no doubt about it, and I think there's some positive feeling right now. But
yeah,
I'm with you, Cole. I'm going KJ Lacey, Auburn. Stamp
Okay.
it.
I'm out of state.
Okay. Caleb Falk.
Auburn.
Malik Autry.
Auburn.
Zion Grady. I'm with you. I'm leaning out of state.
I'm leaning Auburn right now, personally.
I'm like 50-50 there. I think Eric Winters, I think I said this on the show, man, but last time Zion, before his official visit, the last thing he was walking out the door, I was like, hey, big dog, could you and Eric end up at the same school? And, kind of off the cuff. And he kind of stuck his head back in and was like, I don't know, it was so there's been some talk amongst them. So right now, no, I'm going to go out of state.
Yeah, I'm going Florida State. I'm going to go out of state on that one. That's all right. Now, if you want to talk a Keldrick Falk type situation, holler back at me about Zion Grady on National Signing Day.
Yeah.
Because I think that one has a chance. Will have a chance to change.
So here's my dilemma when doing this is I used for now Alvin Henderson Auburn. Well, am I going for now right now for all of these cats? Because right now I used KJ Lacey. Right now I think he goes out of state.
I'll tell you how I'm playing it, Jeffrey. We may all be playing it a different way. I'm going gut feeling. Where does he sign?
Okay. Man, I tell you what, he's one of those guys. As of now, I think Auburn's going to.
I can't read the kid, man.
I'll tell you what I think this hinges on a lot, and I don't think Auburn's not pushing hard for him because I think Auburn is pushing pretty hard for Zion Grady.
Oh yeah,
but if he goes to Enterprise and lights it up, because he's moving from Charles Henderson to Enterprise. Enterprise is,
it's a step up for sure.
It's a step. If he still lights it up on that and has a big senior season, I think they could push even harder for him. And if that's the case, I would lean more towards Auburn there.
You know what? I think if he's that freeze, what was it? Eric said that the Super 7, and if he's part of that, and Eric's right on him all the time. I will say this too, man. Auburn is recruiting him to play the 5, right? Yeah. Cole, the 5 technique. Not so much as the edge.
I think both. I think he told us both, but they weren't considering 5 at one point. But he's gotten pretty big. He's at a good weight, but he is starting to grow into more of a 5 than an edge.
No, and I've always thought his game kind of translated better there. I don't see that elite twitch off the edge with him. I just don't. I see a extremely athletic kid. Just like Keldrick Falk, right? Now he's not nearly as big as Keldrick at the same stage, but he's got a body that he can grow into that. I think he can play every bit of 265, 270 when it's all said and done. I'm still going to lean out of state. I'm going Florida State on that one right now. Like I think that there are 3 schools. My intel are that Miami, Florida State, and Auburn all feel good about that situation. When all 3 of them feel good, I tend to default to the other schools.
I've lost count. I don't even know where I'm going. I think I have 4. Is that right? 5, 6.
I
If you
think
have 4,
so.
I definitely have.
You've got Cardi Smith, Jordan Crawford, Alvin Henderson, Antonio Coleman. So there's 4. Jacaleb Falk, 5,
Malik.
and Malik.
I tell you what, man. Gosh, put me down for Auburn for Zion.
Okay.
I'm at 8 right now. Jeez.
How many is that for me?
Well, it's about to go up, fellas.
That's
Probably
7
7
for
for
me.
you because
Who do you have, Cole, that I don't?
I have Lacey that you don't. I have
Okay,
Lacey.
all right.
Yeah, I've got 7. Jeffrey's got 7, and Cole's got 8. All right, Eric Winters,
Auburn.
Yeah, Auburn. That's 9.
and Quan Fagans, Auburn.
10.
Derek Smith.
Alabama.
Yeah, I'm going Bama on that one. I just think he's got a lot of
Man, this
Alabama.
game is
Yeah,
game
a
is
lot of
hard, Moss, man. Why you do this to us?
A lot of Alabama influence around that kid.
I agree.
I'm going to say Alabama.
Yeah.
But, man, I'm real close to staying Auburn. I'm telling you, man.
Jeffrey, I trust your intel. You don't have to explain, baby.
Okay.
Jared Smith.
I just don't know enough.
I'm
about that one.
long play. I'm going Auburn on this one.
See, that's what I was doing with Zion. I was doing long play on Zion. Like,
see, to me, you're going to get either one of the two. I don't think you're going to get both.
okay, but that's why I brought up the 5-tech on Zion.
Right.
Because Jared Smith is a true edge. Is that right?
To my understanding, yeah, they think he's a real buck, which I don't see on tape. But hey, you know what I mean? Like they know more football than I do. So
I'm going to go out of state for him right now.
Me too. I am too.
And here's my reason with that. South Carolina was able to get Juju Lewis away from Auburn a year ago. And I think South Carolina is one of the biggest competition here with Jared Smith. And here's my – if Auburn wanted to go head-to-head with South Carolina, can Auburn beat South Carolina? Yes. But if South Carolina prioritizes one specific person and puts a lot of resources in that person, I think they can get him. That doesn't mean they can get a full class of them. They can get one.
I think Shane Beamer's seat's going to be red hot after this season. I'm going to be honest with you, brother.
Too. I forget to put that into it because all the coaching carousel is going to happen.
100%. And I think Shane's going to be – I don't know that he gets fired, but I think his seat's going to be red hot. I took a peek at South Carolina's schedule earlier today when I was preparing for this, and I just –
That's true, Zach.
Yeah, I mean, Zach's got a valid point, but I don't see them being able to come into –
people don't know what he's talking. Zach in the back says South Carolina also has done a really good job of landing elite D linemen. I don't know how they consistently land one at least every 1 or 2 years.
Yeah, but I don't see him coming into Birmingham, Alabama, and taking a kid that Auburn wants when Shane Beamer's on the hot seat. I just don't see it.
I just don't know where Auburn is with this kid right now.
That's where I'm at. I want to see how bad Auburn wants him first, and then
This is something we need to revisit at the end of August,
right
before the season, and everybody's already committed. Where do we see them? I think we'll know a lot more then. But all right, let's keep going.
Yep, and then last but not least, Naheem Offord. Where you guys at with it?
I'm gonna say sticks with Ohio State.
I agree.
I got you a big dog. Alabama flips him.
Ooh. That's going to get the corner a little tweet.
Where'd y'all land? I landed at 10 for Auburn.
That would be 10 for me as well.
Oh, shit.
And
How
that's
many
what
did I have?
Same.
I had 10?
I think you're at 9 or 10, yeah.
Wow. All right, big dog.
Let
me go back over my picks.
Yeah, I said 10 on the call-in show the other night. And I
said Jordan, Alvin, Antonio.
Yep.
Jacaleb, Malik. I said Zion, Eric Winters, and Quan.
No, I
was at 9.
You were at 9.
Okay.
You were at 9.
Okay. And I'm real close on Derek, and Jared, I just don't know what to do with him and Zion, but I'm like you, Alan.
Oh, give me that dollar.
Damn it. That's what is it?
We're up to about 1850.
It is 1850.
9 or 10 out of 15 ain't bad. That's pretty good. The trajectory is going up.
guys, if we land 10 out of the top 15 instead of, and that's if the rankings stay as they are today, right? Like this the hard part on this.
I'm just looking at like 16 and below, and it kind of gets mid right there. I mean, your 16 through 20 is C.J. May, Dylan Alfred, Dalen Upshaw, Michael Igbenogany, Sidney Walton. So unless Mal Waldrop, Andrew Purcell, T.K. Norman's down at 25, Timothy Merritt's at 26. So, in Auburn's eye, or at least, what we think Auburn's targeting, those guys are pretty, lower second tier 3 guys.
The only one that I'm watching is the kid from Fife that I think has an opportunity probably to have
Logan
a
Anderson at 27.
Right. Came, worked out at camp. They got, their eyes on him. How does he develop as a linebacker this year? I think that's something I'm going to pay attention to, because it sounds like, or it feels like this class right now, they're probably going to take 3, but I think they could take 4 to 5. And I believe that's what your hot board says, Jeffrey.
I did. I think I had it at 4 to 5, and I think I moved it to 3 to 4.
Right. It feels more like 3 to 4 today.
Right.
And maybe he's your 4th one if you like a developmental guy there.
If you can get an Elijah Melendez
Mm-hmm.
to go with Tyler Lockhart and J.J. Falk. Now, here's the deal. Do you take the 4th one so in preparation for the if J.J. moves down?
That's how I've thought of it the entire time, because I do think J.J. is going to move down at some point.
He's so big.
He is, man. I mean, he's 6'3", 235 plus right now.
He's with Carlos Dansby about like that. I just don't think he's as athletic as Carlos Dansby, because Carlos Dansby could play wide receiver in the SEC.
100%. See, Carlos was like 205 at the same age.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, so his body's already taken him to a place that Carlos wasn't at.
He was taller and leaner.
Yep.
Okay. I'm just trying to think of Dontarius Thomas. Who was the last this big ass linebacker Auburn had? That's 6'4" and 240.
The Sears
JJ is
Sears kid, was it Kevin
Riley.
Sears was that big? Yeah.
Cam Riley was that size.
Kevin Sears was really big.
6'4", 225, yeah.
How big was Trey Williams?
Trey was big. He was like 6'1", 6'2" ish, 230 plus.
Yeah, he was.
But he played at like 220 in high school. You know what I mean? See, that's the thing. He's 6'3", 6'4", 235 already. I mean, what do you?
I think Jeffrey, in watching Durkin's defense, he likes a guy of J.J. Falk's size off the ball. But really and truly, if you really look at that defense, the guy that he's calling off the ball is just walk back a little bit from where the edge would usually be.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times. So it's just,
Who's the kid from A&M that transferred to Bama this past year? Is it LT Overton?
I don't know about that.
I'll tell you who the last big one they had committed was, and it was the one T-Will had committed that Clemson flipped.
Oh, yeah.
Big kid from Georgia.
Yeah.
What's his name?
What was it? Or no, he's from North Carolina. Trent Simpson, right?
That guy. No, I'm thinking of he was from North Atlanta. Trenton Simpson is that's who you're talking about? I don't know who the hell I'm talking about.
That guy was good. Really good.
Yeah. No, T-Will had that one locked in, and then Clemson was able to flip him. But that's probably the last big linebacker that they had committed. And I think Simpson grew into an on the line of scrimmage player.
Is Clemson the school that doesn't allow their commitments to visit other places?
Yes, allegedly.
So wouldn't it be hypocritical if they expected recruits to visit them that were committed elsewhere?
I would think so.
Yeah. Okay. All right, let's get to the questions from the corner. We've been yapping tonight, boys.
Yeah, take jabs at Dabo whenever you can, big dog.
Yeah. Great day in the morning. Aces full 1, not to be confused with Aces full 1.5.
Oof.
What's the dream front 7 class? The dream front 7 class would include Nate Marshall.
Yes.
Would include Antonio Coleman.
Yes.
Yep.
Would include, who do they have committed now?
Jordan Crawford's your nose in that.
Malik Autry.
Yeah, you can put Malik in there. And then
give me an edge.
Oh, I give you. I mean, you got to think Justice Perry. Yeah, Isaiah Gibson and Justice Terry would obviously be in my dream
Sure.
7.
Yeah, let me go through the top 10 of the on 300 and give you the
Well,
Exactly.
keeping it realistic.
keeping it realistic.
Isaiah Gibson is still realistic.
Sure.
So he would be on there probably, and at inside linebackers, Tyler Lockhart, J.J. Falk, Elijah Melendez, Duke Johnson.
Yeah, I was going to say it's Elijah Melendez for me. I just think he's a true Mike, man.
Yeah. The ultimate warrior.
Ooh.
All right, let's see. Go Steve Balbany. Who is the new must-get now that Eric Winters is on board for all 3 of you? Steve Balbany wants to know who's the must-get. From you, Alan Head, who are you going to go with?
Anquan Fegans. He is must-get for me.
Cole?
Yeah, when I hear must get, I'm not so much going who's the best. Who's the most embarrassing if you were to lose.
Perception.
And Fegans, he's the one because he's already.
It's Fagans, by the way.
It's Fagans. Okay. And here's the thing with Fagans. Again, it's a very similar situation to Joe, right? In that Alabama's not being considered. You would lose him to an out-of-state school.
Mm-hmm.
Perception on that would be horrible.
Yeah.
Right.
He's the must-get, in my opinion. First name that popped in my mind. Good stuff, Balbany. M45 Auburn. If Juju Lewis decides to wait and see how teams perform this fall and Auburn decides to try and get another quarterback, do you think they would still recruit Juju until signing day or just be done?
Be done.
In this scenario, me too. When Auburn gets a quarterback, it's over.
Yeah. Now, does that change the trajectory of what kind of portal quarterback they're looking for? Oh, hell yeah.
Absolutely.
But does that probably end the Juju Lewis recruitment? I think so, unless – I mean,
I don't think this scenario happens, though.
No, I don't either. Because, all right, in this scenario, say Auburn decides, hey, man, we're cutting bait. We're going to go pursue KJ Lacey from, Texas or Ty Hawkins from TCU or whoever it is, right? They're going after a blue chip guy. They're not going after, a developmental player. If it were – and this is not in any way trying to be a shot at the kid, but if this were Hank Brown or Chael Garnett or somebody like that, yeah, I could see them coming back around to Juju, right? If something were to shake there. But one of those 2 kids, and I think that's where they're going with this, is another blue chip style of quarterback. I don't see that one happening. I don't see both of those guys in the same class.
I think Auburn will recruit Juju until it's over and then come back to KJ Lacey, even if it's the first Tuesday in December.
There you go.
Unless they do want to go ahead and get, if they feel like it's over with Juju, they want to go ahead and get somebody. I think they'd make a push for. I don't think, but if they do take a commitment from somebody else other than Juju, it's over. Like they've moved on from Juju, it's done. Let's see, Welders AU. Eric Winters referenced a Super 7 of in-state talent Coach Freeze hopes to land. Do you have any ideas on who the Super 7 are and what are Auburn's chances of landing them? I think he named them in Chad Simmons' story. There was
he named several of them anyway.
There was Zion Grady, there was Alvin Henderson, there was Fagans, Alford.
These were all defensive players, right? It was the Super 7 on defense.
Oh, who did I name on offense?
Alvin.
All right.
Zion Grady, Eric. It would be Eric Winters.
So Zion, Eric, J.J. Falk, Malik Autry, Jordan Crawford.
Fagans and Alford.
Yes. I think that's going to be your group.
Yeah.
Unless
Auburn's chances of landing them
pretty good.
We just went through all the state. We talked about each of those.
I think you could land all of them, with the exception of Heem Alford.
Yeah.
Who was the other one? J.J. Eric and Antonio Coleman.
Yep. Zion Grady.
Yeah. And I bet you Jared Smith's in there too.
I would think so.
Probably.
Let's see. All the Meat for Free wants to know who are the top 3 2026 quarterbacks on the board.
Man, I don't know.
I haven't gotten there yet.
What'd you say, Jeffrey? Your mental capacity you just can't.
I just can't deal with
Stretch
dude,
that
for
far.
the past 21 days. We have been walls to the balls 2025.
Yeah.
Today was the first day I took a deep breath in 3.5 weeks. 2026, I don't know. That's something we'll be paying attention to probably in the coming weeks. Because listen, they've had a lot of guys in. There's a lot of guys. There's 3 or 4 guys out in California that came that they're looking at.
You had a guy from Utah come.
Yeah, the Utah kid come. I don't know that their board is set right now, or at least I'm not aware of it.
I don't think it is. I mean, I think people tend to just think that because Hugh Freeze is still here, that everything is still the same. But the offensive coordinator has changed. The quarterback's coach has changed. I mean, this time last year, Ryan Montgomery was somebody that they were circling, right?
And the kid from Houston County.
Exactly. And now they're nowhere to be found on the board, and you've got a completely separate group of guys. So as we have more coaching continuity moving into next year, you're going to be able to project out a lot better because these kids are going to come to campus and you're going to know who they're prioritizing. But right now, that's up in the air.
I think people are freaking out a little bit because a lot of 2026 quarterbacks are coming off the board. And it used to be that quarterbacks were pretty solid when they commit places, but I think that is slowly changing.
Auburn's top 2 quarterbacks in 2025 both are committed elsewhere.
Well, you don't know what a program is going to bring in from the portal. They may go, we'll get a guy in 26, but we're going big on the portal. And they may go, well, I'm out if y'all do that. That's the other factor we need to counter. We need to count in now.
Tigers Unlimited wants to know, does Auburn have a really, really, really good shot? Does they have a real shot with Isaiah Gibson, who just decommitted from USC on Tuesday? Also, how does USC already losing top talent affect Juju? Oh, let me tell you something. I wanted to make this point the other night. Anytime you see a big rash of commitments to the same school, go back and look at USC in March. Go back and look at Alabama in April. Or whenever it was that they all, I think it might have been in March. Derek Smith committed.
Yep.
There was just what? Oh, did I say something wrong? Okay. Anyways,
I agree with you.
That tends to be a lot about money. I mean, this is when, hey, we want to get some momentum going.
No, I know where you're going. I'm with you.
It's the truth, though. Yeah, it's the truth. Anytime you see a bunch of kids commit to the same school in a 2-week span or something, like typically, there's money incentive there to do that, and you see a lot of these kids 4 to 6 months later decommit, and that's why I don't think a lot of USC's commitments. That's why I don't think a lot of Alabama's commitments from back from that same time period.
No, I hear you.
Did that even answer his question?
I mean, I think it does.
Oh, Isaiah Gibson. Right?
Yes.
Okay. So let me circle it back around. back to Isaiah Gibson. So like I wrote on the corner, like to nobody's surprise or to very few, unless you got your head stuck in the sand, Isaiah Gibson was decommitting from USC. He decommitted Tuesday afternoon. I think most national pundits expect Georgia, the in-state school.
Yes.
I think Chad Simmons had a story about that. Auburn and Tennessee, don't count them out yet. But I think Georgia's the team to beat for Isaiah Gibson.
No, I think that's completely fair. Now, I do think that Juju has influence with certain prospects instead of Georgia. And if you were to land him, I think it definitely helps you with Isaiah Gibson. But does it make him, a slam dunk to Auburn? Not by any means.
I don't know if this was a question, but the better question there would have been, did y'all see what T.C. Lewis told Steve Wiltfong about, man, we've had a lot of guys say, hey, now I'm going, is he pulling legs there? Like, or is that for real? And if so, would Isaiah Gibson be one of those? Who would be those guys? Is it Caleb Cunningham? Is it, who is that?
Sure.
Yeah.
Or is he just using that for leverage?
It's probably offensive guys. I think they've got some prowess with receivers and tight ends. Don't forget the tight ends.
Sure.
There's some guys out there that would love to play with a good quarterback. So
I'm going to say this. T.C. Lewis is shrewd. Okay.
So that's what I'm saying. I don't know whether to take him for his word
See, that's the
he's
thing.
smooth, man. He's smooth.
He's smooth, and I think there's enough legitimacy to what he's saying that you have to give him the benefit of the doubt.
Absolutely.
Is it 100% true? Nah, because nothing in the recruiting world is ever 100% true, right? But I think he does have some sway with certain prospects. That's for certain.
I agree. I don't know if it's to the extent he made it out. It's like, hey, man, if you go to Auburn, I'm coming with you.
Right.
I don't know if it's that, but I'm like you, Alan.
Well,
He would be a big deal.
Yep. You want a good example of the recruiting world not being 100% true. At the On3 Nashville event, Isaiah Gibson and his family all showed up in USC gear, like very, very loud USC gear. And we all just kind of looked at each other and like, well, that's a statement, isn't it? But that's just how it is. It's just gotten, I hate to use the word, it's gotten real political with all this money involved. And,
Yeah, you know what? I'm glad you reminded me of that, Cole, because one thing about Isaiah Gibson's official visit last week, his mother is an awesome lady. Yeah, I love her. Yeah, she loved Auburn. Now, she might love everywhere she goes. I don't know. I haven't seen her after Georgia official visits in Miami or whatever. But I know when she walked out of that hotel, she was beaming. And I don't mean Jeremiah.
and
she was. I loved her.
Isaiah's got a similar personality as her too.
Yeah,
they're
really good people,
nice folks.
Yes.
No,
I love them. So I think Auburn's the dark horse. I think that's fair to say. Georgia's the favorite. Auburn's the dark horse. I don't know about Tennessee, much about them and the recruitment of him, but I do feel that pretty confident saying Georgia's the favorite for him. Auburn's the dark horse. You get a guy like Juju Lewis. Those are guys. I think Juju Lewis is good for at least two guys who wouldn't typically or would not have gone to Auburn. Go to Auburn. And I agree. They are, but I think he's good for at least two elite.
No, I agree.
Top 300 guys.
Yeah, he's a head turner, man. And I think the draw on Tennessee at last research, Rodney Garner, in working his dark arts there.
There you go.
I think
can't ever count him out.
No. I learned not to do that a long time ago. So Rodney will have his say. I'm certain, but it's going to be hard to pull that kid out of the state of Georgia. I just firmly believe that Kirby Smart does as good a job as anyone of circling the state. And if it's a kid he really wants, they're going to double down and get it.
William Deuces. How many corners does Auburn take with a chance to also take Blake Woodby, Shamar Arnaud, and Naeem Offer? Do we push Devin Williams or Deontay Core out or take everybody?
Take them all.
Yeah.
I don't think you push anybody out because Blake Woodby would make 4 total, 3 total.
4. I mean, but here's the thing: Deontay Core's got some versatility to him, right?
That's
He's not a pure corner,
and neither is Shamar Arnaud. He can play safety. He's got the safety look actually, and was pretty good in 7-on-7 playing safety. So you're going to have some mixing and matching. Even though they're listed at corner and they're being recruited as corner, it doesn't the way it is now. You got to be able to mix and match with these guys.
I think Donovan Starr, Devin Williams, Dante Core, those are your 3 commitments. You add Blake Woodby, that's 4. Add name Shamar Arnaud, that's 5. Who I love his daddy, by the way. His daddy's awesome.
I've heard just a really good kid all the way around.
He's a great guy. Both of them, man. I had a good time talking to both of them the other day. But yeah, anyways, take them all, big dog. LA Whip.
Yeah, Arnaud's got some competition for him now, though. It sounds like Florida State is really interested. USC brought him out for an official visit, so it's going to be interesting to see.
They loved him at the camp, at the passing camp. Wasn't it the passing camp, Cole?
Mm-hmm.
He was impressive from what I hear. LA Whip. Out of all the running backs that have visited, you can only sign one. Who is it? This is a tough question. And I'm going between who are your candidates?
This is the easiest question of the night for me.
Well, I know who you're going with, but I'm going the other way, baby.
No.
I think I am too.
I bet you don't. I bet you don't know who I'm going with. As much as I love DeJuan Morris, I'm going with Usman.
No, I knew you were going with Usman.
Okay, all right.
You're in the Usman fan club, baby. You've been there for a minute, but I'm going with Shakai Mills Knight. That's where I'm headed with it.
Me too.
Wow.
Listen, he's more than that. To me, listen, I like watching quarterbacks and running backs. I kind of know, it's easy to watch them, right?
Yeah.
It's easy to watch them. An amateur can watch them. Usman, it doesn't look natural to him. He looks like he's fighting every step. He's got long strides. I don't know. It's like, and then Shakai is so smooth and natural, and
I agree.
I could see why everybody is high on that kid.
I think,
and Usman too. Don't get me wrong.
No, Usman's a fantastic player. You land either one of those, I think you're in really great shape. And Usman Chroma, to me, when I watch him, I see a lot of Ben Tate. I see.
Oh, great comparison.
Yeah, great leg drive, good contact balance.
Do you know who his on-3 comparison is actually on his profile?
Who?
And I thought was fantastic. Was Marcus Lattimore, South Carolina.
Yeah, I can see that for certain. Those two guys.
Just a real heavy runner.
That's it.
But that's it. But got the moves. Got some moves.
Heavy. That's exactly. I was saying unnatural, but that's what I was trying to say. And whereas Shakai, it looks light and smooth.
Looks a little lighter on his feet. He runs behind his pads really well, but he does look a little bit lighter. I agree with that.
Yeah. And I think the part I like about him is the upside, because you're talking about a kid that's only been playing running back for about a year now. He's I mean, he's from Canada. I think he was a soccer player at one point. So you're talking about a guy that you're getting at the very early stages of his career, still in a very developmental stage. So it's not a finished product by any means.
Doesn't that just seem like the kind of guy that like the New England Patriots or the Kansas City Chiefs end up with as their star running back? He was a Canadian soccer player at one point, but the Chiefs saw the potential. You can hear the storyline. Right?
Who was the Nigerian nightmare for the Chiefs?
Oh, God. Okay, Jeffrey, you're taking me back to my childhood here, man.
Starts with an O.
Yes.
I'm out. I don't know.
Sack in the back, Nigerian nightmare.
Yep. Crack research staff, help us out here.
Oh, don't tell me. People at home are going, "What are you, idiot?" Okoye, I told you it started with an O.
Christian Okoye, you're right.
Quick with that, Zach. Man.
So he wasn't natural, and that's maybe Chroma might remind, because he looked like he was heavy. He was a big ass guy, anyways.
For sure.
But anyways, so all right, we'll flip a coin on those two cats. I'm good with either one of them.
But the consensus seems to be y'all like a bigger back. No, everybody seems to like the bigger back.
I think we need somebody to be a between the tackles runner on this team. And it's not that I don't think that Jeremiah Cobb or Damari Alston can't get that done this time next year, but it's been a while since we've had a guy that's been 210 plus that you could just, other than obviously Sean Jackson, but Sean's status is kind of up in the air right now, right? Is he going to be, active on the football team? Is he going to be off the field? What's his situation going to be? I don't really know. But you're talking about a guy both of those guys are extremely gifted running backs. You land either one of those two, you feel very comfortable moving forward.
By the way, Christian Okoye, the number 2 all-time greatest running back on Tecmo Bowl.
Behind Bo Jackson, baby.
Behind Bo Jackson.
There's nothing Bo Jackson can't do on Tecmo Bowl.
Bo Jackson scored 10 out of 10. Christian Okoye scored 9 out of 10. Like he would throw people up, like popcorn. They go tackling. Anyway, Decone 24. This is a good question. It kind of circles back to what we were talking about earlier with the in-state kids.
Yep.
One of two, not both. So, who's more likely, Jared Smith or Zion Grady?
I took the long play on Jared Smith earlier. I think it's really Zion Grady, if we're being honest.
I agree.
I think part of that was me trying to make it a more interesting podcast. But the truth, thank you, buddy. But I think the truth is Zion Grady is much more likely at this point because they put more focus on him, right?
Yes, right. That was, yep. That's where I was going. I just don't know where Jared Smith stands. 3-star Bandits. How are summer workouts going? What incoming freshmen are impressing this summer? I have not had time to even. Didn't even know they were having them.
I mean, you really have to go back to spring. I would say. I don't think the 4 guys that got here have really. There's just nothing to learn about them yet. Until they get on the field, you don't really know. But as far as spring goes, the guys that I keep hearing about are Caleb Harris.
Yep.
Favor Edwin is the guy I hear about a lot. DeMarcus Riddick. At first DeMarcus Riddick, I think he didn't know what was going on. When he picked up on some things, they go, "Ooh, watch out now."
Hey now.
Yeah. So those are a few guys that I think have started to stand out as freshmen so far.
And then obviously Cam Coleman. I mean, that just
Besides
kind of goes
him,
without
probably.
saying at this point, right?
Yeah.
Sure.
I already had him
Yeah, I mean, we've already got him in our starting lineup, and he hasn't even started his freshman year at Auburn yet.
Look at Auburn fan 27. I remember I said this would be the better question. Here it is. Julian Lewis's dad said the other recruits have contacted him and said that if we were flipped to Auburn, they would go as well. Who do you think we're talking about? Who do he was talking about? We threw out Caleb Cunningham. I'm just guessing here. We all are.
Yeah.
Who would
Caleb
contact
Cunningham.
Julian Lewis?
That's
I
the
think-
main guy.
Caleb Cunningham.
Yes, that's the main guy. And then I look to the state of Georgia after that. I think that would make sense for some of those guys. Maybe
That's why I said Isaiah Gibson.
Well,
Yep,
maybe CJ
Gibson.
Wiley comes back into the picture. Maybe
Interesting.
even though he's shut down his recruitment with Georgia, they know who Juju is. Okay, if he was
Did he
to go
commit to Georgia?
No. I'm talking about Elias Williams. I didn't say his name yet.
Oh,
The tight end Elias Williams. That's a guy. Ethan Barbour. These guys know who Juju is. They're tight ends. They're good receiving tight ends. Maybe they're guys that pop up.
it's
CJ
probably
Wa-
just Shamar Arno.
Hey, it could be. It could be right, but CJ Wiley makes sense to me because they've played 7-on-7 together since they've been young. Man,
Yeah,
you're talking about a deep relationship there, and I think that the two dads know each other as well. So that
That would
one
be
makes
interesting.
sense. Yeah.
Let's see. Nova Tigers 256. Which position group do you think Auburn fans will be happiest come signing day? They are happiest about them right now. The only commitments on the offensive side of the ball are from the big dogs.
offensive line, no doubt.
Yeah, baby.
You know, doing the hot board, I was like,
Man, that's
Auburn
true.
doesn't have a tight end, Ryan G.
Tight end. There you go.
That's right.
I think linebacker. I think
Ryan falls more onto your inline tight end, so he goes, halfway along. with
Sure.
offensive
Yeah.
line.
I am really impressed with what DJ Durkin has done at linebacker. I mean, I really am. If you add Elijah Melendez to Tyler Lockhart and Juice, because I think that kid's a linebacker all day long.
Who is this?
Your main man, Juice from Maryland.
Big dog. Yeah. I love old cuz. What's his name?
Oh yeah, Bryce Diaz.
Bryce Diaz.
Yeah.
Jeffrey said, "What's up, cuz?"
I forgot about old Bryce for a second there.
I did too.
But you add him to
Cuz.
that group and JJ Falk, son.
I hear
I mean,
you.
you know what I mean? Like, and I saw it. I want to give credit to John Garcia and his reporting for over at Rivals, but they had Bryce Diaz in their
Yes.
Charlotte camp, and he was one of the most impressive players there and the most impressive linebacker.
Love it.
So I think he's a kid as he gets more exposure. We talked about this with his size and measurables. Sky's through the roof for him, man. I mean, you're talking about a kid at 210 that came in and ran 4.5.
I think he was 218.
Ooh,
He's 208.
But he measured in higher than that. Oh,
Yeah, 6'2".
he measured in 208 at Rivals.
at Auburn.
Oh, he told me 218.
I think he's 208. I could be wrong, but
he stuck them tube socks in his pants again, man.
We've all done it for different reasons. No, we just did Nova. Let's see. Question 13. I also think defense line is going to be impressive too. I will say that.
Yes.
JMK 205. Brody McWhorter, 2026 quarterback who visited recently, has commitment date set for July the 4th. Any word if Auburn would take him and where he's trending?
I've heard
No
less
word.
than 0. Yeah.
no word for me. That doesn't.
I put
necessarily
out
mean-
2 feelers and I've got nothing. So that tells me
Probably
unless
not.
something changes,
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll keep an eye. I'm keeping an eye on him though for sure.
Isn't his brother committed someplace else?
No, his teammate is Kel Ellis. Right?
Yes.
His teammate is. But I thought that McWhorter had a brother that was committed to someplace big time.
Maybe so. I'm
And
not sure.
Ryan G knows the kid. There's a name to know. Bear McWhorter.
Oh
yeah.
Bear. No, that's Kel Ellis again. Him and Bear
Really?
McWhorter are real close. Yeah, maybe Ryan too. But
No, Bear McWhorter is his brother.
Really?
Yeah, he's committed to Arkansas.
Yes.
Okay, that comes together then.
Yeah,
Are they the same age?
Bear
no,
They're in the
McWhorter's
same class.
He's a 26 O lineman, Bear McWhorter,
and
right?
yeah,
From Kingston, Georgia.
I know. I think I was interviewing Kale one time. He said, I'm going to try to bring Bear with us. I was like, who's Bear? It took me a second. I didn't even know who he was, Bear McWhorter, but he's committed to Arkansas.
Hell, I didn't know Third had a brother that was the same age.
I didn't either. But he's now has a PWO offer from Auburn.
Mm-hmm.
good for that young man.
Let's see. W. Tidwell, 51. He's a good-looking kid, by the way. Go look at his X page. Who is your sleeper of our 2025 class and whose tape doesn't match up to their ranking, in your opinion?
Ooh,
Good question. Good question.
Ty Buster is a candidate.
You know what? For me, because I honestly believe this guy is underrated, and I think as the season goes on, he's a 4-star right now. But I really believe Tavares Dice is going to be almost close to a top 100 player before it's all said and done. I really, really do. I don't often say this, like, hey, man, that a kid that's, fringe, what is he, 250 right now?
Carday Smith, the same.
Tavares Dice?
Yeah.
He's 295.
290, right.
I think Carday's.
No. I mean, like ranked in the fringe 250.
Ranked, yeah. No, he's industry ranking. The one that puts them all together is number 201.
Okay,
So
201. I think he's going to be top 100. And yes, you're right, Cole. 295, and he doesn't look it,
which is why I thought when you said 250, he looks 250. He could pass his 250, but he weighs 290.
Look, really athletic, nimble feet. Gets into his pass set so smoothly. I honestly believe this young man is going to continue to rise up the draft boards and up the recruiting boards. And definitely. I really think they hit home runs on their 3 offensive tackles. Honestly.
Yeah, they have. They really have. I mean, they got a chance to do another one with Andrew Babalola.
They do. I don't know. You guys are far better sourced there than I am. But if you walk away with just these 3, dude, I cannot imagine. I can't remember the last time Auburn recruited 3 tackles of that caliber. Period.
What about the second? Whose tape doesn't match up?
This isn't Jordan Crawford for me.
Okay,
he's a top 50 player if I've ever seen one.
What if I said you don't have to use Auburn's commitment list? Maybe. And this is what I'm getting to. Jordan Crawford, let's go commitment list, Alan.
That's easy for me then.
Are you going number 2? Oh, okay.
Third Scroggins. He's a 4-star if I've ever seen one too.
So you think he needs? So is there a guy that's high ranked that you're like?
Yep. I'm like that. I'm that way on Jared Thompson.
That's what I was getting to.
Yeah,
now, I haven't watched this tape, but I know other people who have. And whose opinions I trust. Listen, I think he's a top 10 kid in state. I just don't know if he's number 2.
No, I think he's number 10. Look at you, dude. Return of the emojis.
The beach is that way.
I think he's raw. I think he's a touch slow off the ball. Yes, he's extremely athletic, long arms, big frame.
Oh, he's so pretty.
You know what I mean? But when I watch him, man, I see Dylan Brooks all over again, dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm kind of with you, Alan. Zion Grady probably wouldn't be a top 100 guy for me. I think he's 4-star level. But top 100, I think that's a little high. There's a couple. Carday Smith, I think, might be a little high. But after seeing him in person.
I thought you were high on him. That's why I threw his name out.
I like him. I am high on him, but I think I don't know what his true potential is yet. Now, his frame is NFL level.
Okay. That's what 100%. I was going off of.
If you're going off of just frame, he's a 4-star. Tape, I say 3. So you're looking somewhere there, right?
Okay.
Sure. And he's got some growth and maturation to go, but I think he's one of those kind of kids that Tubbs used to take back in the day where you just throw him, you know what I mean, into your strength and conditioning program and don't even think about him for 2-3 years. Mm-hmm. And then Watch him be, one of the Monstars from what's the Michael Jordan movie back in the day?
Space Jam.
Yeah, one of the Monstars from Space Jam, dude.
The Monstars.
I did put a post on the board the other day. The 3 stars that I felt were not 3 stars. And the 2 top ones for me were Third Scroggins and DeJuan Morris. Those 2 for sure.
No, look, you guys know how I feel about Third Scroggins. I 100% believe that kid's a blue chip. And he's, in my opinion, of the realistic targets you have, the absolute best pass rusher we're in on, period.
Boy, yep. I like the way he looks, too. When you're talking about an edge rusher.
Yes.
Yeah. Look, 6'2", 6'3" right now, 235. And shredded, man. I mean, it's not like he's, carrying bad weight at all.
Absolutely.
He reminds me, his personality, his demeanor, reminds me of Nosa Igwe.
Yeah. His look and his tape, to an extent, reminds me of D Ford.
Oh. Yeah. I agree.
Oh, man. He's a good one. We'll know about him when he's announcing soon. Next week, I believe. Next Tuesday, if I'm not mistaken. Going to Miami this weekend. They're going to make a decision after that.
Yeah.
Let's see what WDE Opie has got to say. Is there a third quarterback in the running that you think we could go after other than Juju or KJ? Alan, you've got a name. You mentioned you threw out the TCU commitment.
Yeah, and I want to give credit where credit is due. Phillip Dukes is fantastic at what he does for you. For the guys that don't follow him, Phillip is fantastic on the national scene. But he mentioned that name. I kind of checked around. I do think that's someone that they would kick the tires on. I don't think there's
name?
Ty Hawkins.
Huh. Oh, yeah.
I don't think there's a full-out press there yet by any means. I think right now the pivot is and has been KJ Lacey, 100%. But Ty Hawkins fits the profile of somebody I think they would turn to. Committed to TCU, you could flip that kind of a kid. He's athletic. Sure. He fits into your scheme. And it does appear as though there's some interest. How much, I don't honestly know. But again, that name came from Phillip Dukes, and then I just kind of researched it after I heard his commentary there.
He was at Nashville. He came to Nashville for the On3 event.
But to me, you start looking for blue chip quarterbacks that are committed to programs that, aren't necessarily at the same prestige as Auburn, that are potentially coming off a really tough season. Hawkins fits that criteria, right? Like he's committed to a school that if Auburn needs to, because Cole, you just talked about it. Typically quarterbacks get committed and they stay committed.
Yeah.
In the day and age of NIL, I mean, I thought Raiola was 100% to Georgia last year, right? Like done deal, don't even think about it. And then 2 weeks out from National Signing Day, he flips to Nebraska. Those kind of things don't just happen without NIL. And I think that's where we are right now. I think Auburn will go out and buy themselves a quarterback if they don't land either KJ Lacey and or Juju Lewis.
Interesting stuff. Very interesting. Fantastic questions this morning, Wednesday morning.
There you go. For Steve Balboni, it'll be up at 10 o'clock. Don't worry about it.
Balboni.
Yeah.
Hey, let's get some how about yous.
Let's do it.
Okay. I'll go with one right now.
Okay.
Or actually, I got two. Moss for getting us started with that fantastic question. Eric, you deserve a how about you for that. And then my man B-Dye, because he threw up that escalated quickly gif after Jeffrey Lee made a post today. And it was somebody asked you how the visit went for Jared Smith. You said, great.
That was gorgeous.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah. B-Dye came in with that escalated quickly.
I just got in, dude. I just wanted to sit the hell down.
Oh, I know you did. Like, I'm not answering
the only reason I did that was because it was gorgeous. I knew I could mess with him.
There you go.
Oh, gosh. All right, B-Dye's got one. How about you, Cole?
All right, P. Diddy, 98.
P-D-I-D-D? Remember this? We had trouble with this before.
We did, didn't we?
There's no spaces. It's P-D-I-D-D-Y, 98.
Okay. Ain't no party like a Diddy party.
Oh, hey now. Keep my man off CNN.
Mixmaster Mike, who we met.
Oh, Mixmaster.
We met him. And
Times two.
Also, Carter Malden, who we
there you go.
Got to meet in person.
Times two.
Horace from 3.
Oh yeah.
which is
Dude, I just love that name.
you know what? That might be my favorite username on the corner, on the Auburn Live message board. The corner. I think he wins that, and
Okay.
he just gave me a nice compliment. So, Horace, you get one from me.
It always helps to get a compliment. Don't it?
It does, right?
I
Butter me up a little bit.
Yeah, I'll give you one for that.
By the way, guys, I'm for sale, so you know.
Yeah, right. Right. Mac 5, who had a funny, it's just MAC5.
Okay.
Jeffrey, he had a funny post. I had my recruiting thread going for the OVs. Started early because it was last weekend. You know, I had to leave it for a little while. I was at home, you know, trying to eat dinner and stuff like that. I get back, I got like 40 notifications. And Mac 5 was like, Cole Pinkston notification button fighting for his life this weekend. And he was right. And then we'll end it at, I have some more. We'll go into next week with them, but we'll end it today at Duke OT.
Oh, Duke. I think he's an
Somebody
OG.
Somebody asked to ban somebody because it got a little heated, but they didn't say ban. They said banned. BAND.
Making the band.
Duke OT pointed that out and said, "This goofy dude just said banned," and it got me. So those are my guys this week.
Oh man, I can't remember, but mine. How about you? Big boy football.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Somebody had posted something. It was gross or something, and I was like, I want that an iced tea gift. And I scroll down. There's Big Boy football. He said, "That's nasty." He beat me to it. How about you, Big Boy? How about you, the Snake Earl?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
How about you, Snake Earl? How about you, bow-legged Arlene?
Yeah.
How about
That's
you,
a good one
bow-legged?
too.
How about you, TC Tuggers?
Ooh.
He's been good.
TC Tuggers. How about you, B-Dog? How about you, the Dust? How about you, the Dust?
I don't know if I can follow you on that one.
Oh, yeah? Has he been bad?
He's all right. He just
I have to pay attention to him then.
He likes to steal threads.
Oh, really?
No, he's fine. I'm just messing around.
All right, Dust. I'm gonna give you the benefit of the doubt this morning, Wednesday morning. And finally, how about you, the Tiki?
That's one of my faves.
He said, "How about you, the Emily and Jessica deserve how about yous for putting up with our stuff all week." So how about you, Emily, and how about you to Jessica Alba?
Oh.
I want to tag her, see if she'll respond. Jessica Andrews with the Talents Group.
There you go. Otherwise, you can find yourself sleeping on that couch tonight.
Yeah, right.
Dog.
How about you, Big Boy football, Snake Earl, bow-legged Arlene, TC Tuggers, Dust, Tiki, P-Moss times 2, by the way. I had him down as well. B-Die, P. Diddy, Mix Master, Carter Band, Horace from 3, Mac 5, and Duke OT. How about you, fellas?
It was a good week. It was a good one.
It was a great week.
The OV zone for sure.
It was a great week. Now we're going to be turning to commitments. And speaking of commitments, if you want to help Auburn get some of those, I've got one way you can do it. Want to make a real difference for the student athletes? Join On to Victory, folks. For as little as $17, you can support your athletic department and enjoy awesome perks like monthly giveaways, VIP events, behind-the-scenes content, cash back on your favorite brands. Plus, you'll get exclusive savings on the OTV gear. Head on over to ontovictory.co, ontovictory.co, and join today. Fantastic. We appreciate them supporting the show, supporting the site. On to Victory, man. Good people, great cause. If you're a big Auburn Tigers recruiting fan, Auburn Tigers roster fan, keeping folks out of the portal, getting folks from the portal. So roster retention, recruiting, everything, man. It goes a long ways. Get on over to On to Victory and help those guys out. All right, that's going to do it, folks. We're going to wrap it up. Fantastic questions. We appreciate everybody that got in there and asked a question. We will be reconvening Sunday night at 6:30 for the call-in show. And we hope to hear everybody there, including Kevin from Wilmer and Wanda.
I like it.
Let's see what we can do with them. All right, folks, thanks so much for listening. Thanks so much for watching. We absolutely appreciate you. For Mr. Cole Pinkston, Mr. Allen Head, Mr. Zach in the back, who stayed in the back. I'm Jeffrey Lee, man. Y'all stay in that left lane. See ya.